Hi guys, welcome to a new series, North Node in Pisces. So in order to reflect that beautiful, mysterious Pisces energy, I'm wearing this beautiful, mystical, fairy, blue, shiny dress. So you guys can get a better idea of what Pisces is. So we're gonna dive deep because Pisces is water. But before we do that, let's go back to your South Node in Virgo and see what kind of energies, what kind of memories you're working with, what kind of lifetimes you've had. And then we're going to dive into each house specifically to see how your South Node and North Node manifests. All right, so South Node in Virgo, you guys have a lot of memories of lifetimes when you were of service. You love to be of service. That's your biggest strength that you bring to all of us. If in fact, you don't know yourself unless you are of service on some level, and that's your biggest fear in a sense, that you're not going to be needed. You want to be needed. You like for people to depend on you. That's where you shine. So as far as skills that you bring with you with Virgo South Node, practicality, the idea of service. The difference between Pisces and Virgo as far as service, because they both like to be of service, is Pisces is self-sacrificial. Pisces loses itself. Pisces is like a martyr. Virgo is different. Virgo is practical service, grounded service. So you guys have a great attention to detail. You have an eye for you can come in and you can notice what's not functioning, what's not right, what's dirty, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be cleaned. You love things that are dirty. And it can be all kinds of things, from a dirty room to a dirty, somebody's dirty emotional life, somebody's dramatic life. You're very good at coming in and cleaning shit up. You love that. And the dirtier, the messier, the better for you, because then you really feel like I gave it all and I freaking saved somebody today. You love to save people. You are my... If I were to describe Virgo, I would say it's a mixture between Capricorn and Gemini, because it has the practicality and the groundness of Capricorn and that hard work. But at the same time, it has that sharp, quick mind of Gemini. Your mind is sharp. You have great attention to detail. You're great at work that requires a long time, looking at something and breaking it apart, and you don't get bored of that. In fact, you love that. Some people could say, I can't do it, my head hurts. You're different. You will sit there and you'll figure it out. So you guys make great accountants. You guys make, bookkeepers, record keepers, anything where meticulousness is required, attention to detail, no mistakes. Virgo does not tolerate mistakes. Virgo, in that sense, is very perfectionist in the idea of that it has to be done perfect. So if somebody looks at it, they can't find nothing. They can't find a pile of dirt anywhere. People that come in and they swipe like that to see if there's any dust left. That's you guys. So when you guys are done with something, it's squeaky clean. And I mean that in direct sense, with actually cleaning stuff, and also in the theoretical sense. You guys are my cleaners, my fixers, my Ray Donovans that come in and they get the job done and they fix it. When everybody else is running away and panicking, you guys are right there. Put your gloves on and get down to it. All right, so a lot of skills when it comes to precision, detail. At the same time, you're great at, a lot of times they associate Virgo with medical professions. You had a lot of lifetimes where you were of service in a medical way, in a health way, nurses, doctors, surgeons, anywhere where there is a requirement for precision, for attention, for figuring it out, pinpointing it. You do have a scientific mind as well. Your mind is sharp. So you could have been somebody who was very good at catching things, at noticing detail. You guys are great at coming in anywhere. Let's say, how they have these shows where they have I think it's a beauty salon. The woman comes in, I think it's Tabitha, I don't know. She comes in and she right away, she sees what's not working, what needs to be fixed, what could make this place more efficient. That's what Virgo is good at. Now, the downside of Virgo South Nodes is that you guys, because you're so good at detail, because you place such high importance on achieving high quality work, you're perfectionist. So the idea of perfectionist, there's nothing wrong with that, but perfectionist in the extreme can drive you crazy, literally, where you're never satisfied with whatever you produce, where you're always nitpicking. And you do that to yourself more than anybody, right? The first one that gets to feel that is yourself. That idea that you're not perfect, you gotta be better, you gotta be more detailed, better, you can do better. And then it goes on to other people. You do that to other people. You nitpick them apart. You destroy them with your mind. Your mind that's so focused on details and stuff can destroy somebody in every way. You can look at their appearance and you can just completely just, like a surgeon, like a plastic surgeon, the way they like circle things and make little marks, you can do that to somebody and completely just disassemble them and put them together the way you want to see them, because you have a vision. Virgo knows how things need to be. You think you do. You think that your way is the best way, most efficient way, most perfect way. But we all know that we're not all operating like that, you know. So what you guys may think is perfect to somebody can be a nightmare, because it's like it's too much pressure, you know. So Virgo has that tension in them that it has to be perfect, it has to be right, and I have to do it. And if I don't do it, if I don't say it, if I don't pinpoint a finger and criticize, that person is never going to get the better version of themselves. So you guys have that in you. You kind of want to save everybody, and you're very quick to come in and say, you're wrong, this is fucked up, you need to eat better, you need to lose weight, this is dirty, you need to wash your hair. Those kind of ideas, you know. Virgo is critical. Virgo can be very critical, the most critical zodiac sign, and you guys are known for that, and that's okay. So what else? Virgo is also very prudish, because Virgo has this idea of what's right and what's wrong, and you know, Virgo has very clear boundaries on what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what's respectful, what's disrespectful. You know, you guys can be very judgmental. You can be very prejudiced as well. You know, you have this idea of how things should be, and you are not afraid to express it. And more than likely, it's, you know, a lot of people probably maybe don't like to be around you so much, because you're always pinpointing their flaws, you know, and nobody likes to see that. So anyway, what else? I guess we can talk more when we dive into each specific house, but I guess general idea would be, you guys can be prejudiced, you guys can be very prudish, you know, this is wrong, this is inappropriate, you know, this is dirty, you know, let's say sex is dirty, you know, we don't do it like this, don't eat like this, make sure you etiquette, you know. Virgo is beautiful in its idea of details and making sure everything's spick and span, but if you take it to an extreme, it becomes destructive. It becomes, instead of building things up, it tears things down, because it just destroys them and says, this is wrong, this is not up to my standards. All right, so with North Node in Pisces, you're here to completely challenge, to change the way you think, the way you approach this world. Instead of coming in with a magnifying glass and sitting there and you know, and looking to see the mistakes, because Virgo is very good at seeing mistakes, mishaps. Virgo has a lot of pet peeves, you know, because the idea of perfection is it has to be like this, and you're very neurotic in that sense. So with Pisces North Node, you're here to let go of that, and it's going to be hard for you guys, because Virgo, anytime there's a South Node in an Earth sign, it's going to be very hard to break through that rigidity, you know, because Earth signs, they're stubborn in the way they do things. So Virgo is stubborn in the idea of perfection, in the idea of meticulousness, in the idea of the standards that Virgo has. So with Pisces North Node, you're here to let go of that, to lose yourself in your experience, to lose yourself in the day-to-day, to not look for details, but to see the bigger picture. Instead of tearing things down with your mind, look at it, you know, step back and look at it as the perfection and beauty that it is. Even if it looks fucked up, even if it's dirty, even if it's completely messed up in your critical mind, because your mind is very critical. Even if it looks completely messed up, completely just crazy, does not fit any of your standards, you still have to see the beauty of it. Pisces North Node is unconditional. Pisces is artistic. Pisces challenges you to go from that logical mind and lose yourself in the world of mystery, in the world of intuition, in the world of music, the arts, anything ethereal, fairy tales, anything that's cray-cray, anything that your mind would deem as, oh no, we can't go there, we can't go down that rabbit hole, we're gonna lose our mind. You can lose your mind, guys. It's okay for you guys. It's okay for you guys to completely let go of that inner critic and completely open up to the beauty of you, because you have so much feeling in you and so much intuitive in you, and you want to feel that so much. You desire to get lost in that, because you're tired of being that doctor, that surgeon, that nurse that's like, you know, or that critic that's always like looking for like the wrongs. And you're here to embrace everything around you and get lost in it and produce some beautiful stuff, because Pisces is so artistic, and you could literally just go on this beautiful journey, and then of course share it with us, and you can still be of service, but it's not going to be the critical way. It's going to be in the way of beauty, of calling us, beckoning us like a siren to get lost in your deep waters. Okay, guys, so now let's go into each house and see what we're dealing with over there. Okay? All right, come along. North Node in Pisces in the 4th house. So let's talk about your South Node in Virgo in the 10th. This would be the position for, once again, workaholics, just like Capricorn South Nodes. You guys were people that spent a lot of time being out there, being in the world, being in very responsible positions that required skill, that required a very critical, analytical mind, precision, no mistakes, very high standards, very high stakes, very high pressure environment. So the one that I thought about, like on a large scale, it could be something in the military. So you were of service. And I don't mean just like a regular, the regular guys. I'm talking about like generals. Like that's what I thought about. It was people who are very high pressure jobs that require strategies, jobs that require logical thinking, jobs that require meticulousness, and there's no room for mistakes. So very high pressure environments where you had to perform and you were very scrutinized. And there was, your biggest fear is like making a mistake. My biggest fear, your guys' biggest fear is that you are going to make a mistake and you'll be reprimanded for it and you will be not needed anymore. So you pride yourself on a lot of experience that has to do with service in a very high profile positions where a lot was basically decided by you. A lot of people came to you for guidance, and it had to be precise, it had to be on the spot, it had to be logical, it cannot be emotional, it cannot be reactive, it had to be very cool-headed and big time focus on details. So somebody like that, you had careers where you were prominent, you were known. I really couldn't think of anybody famous that I could put into this category, but like I said, like famous generals, famous like people that took part in wars, people that were very cool-headed, knew what had to be accomplished, were very strategic, did not really care. They had standards that you had to fulfill, and if you didn't fulfill those standards, they just basically got rid of you. So very high pressure environments. Another one could be, the medical field. You were somebody who was well respected, well known in the medical field, some kind of doctor, some kind of scientist, some kind of big surgeon, somebody who was very well respected. People wanted to know your opinion. You wrote a lot of journals, and people basically listened to you, and you had an eye for detail. You had once again, very good at what you were doing. So you are very comfortable in positions like that, in positions where detail is required, a position where it's very high pressure. You're okay with being a workaholic. You're okay with being away from your home. You have no problem with that. So the bad stuff, the extreme part of that is, of course, the idea is that you wrapped your world around your performance out there. You wrapped your world around what the world thought about you. You loved the ego that you have. There is a big ego associated with, pride and acknowledgement, and, peers looking up to you, and people mentioning you everywhere, and you're getting all kinds of awards and honors for the specialist you were. Because with Virgo South Node, you're a specialist of some kind, in some kind of area where you're really good at it, where you are required to be very detailed, and you could be some kind of critic, some kind of acclaimed critic, no matter what industry it is. Somebody who that's all you knew was just taking things apart, and people knew you, and they probably thought, this jerk again, coming over to tear down my restaurant or whatever. You're somebody who people listen to, and because it's in the South Node in the 10th, you kind of took it to the extreme because you got obsessed with it. You were always working. You never took time for yourself. You were always performing because you wanted to get that idea of perfection. You held yourself to a lot of standards, high standards, and you held yourself to those and people around you. So probably it was kind of hard to work around you. You were one of those leaders. If you were a leader, you were a very tough leader, somebody who did not tolerate mistakes, somebody who did not give a lot of chances, somebody who expected a lot. So a lot of nights away from home, a lot of nights away from family. You really probably didn't have a lot of connections with your family. You really placed a great value on being out there in the public eye. So a modern example could be, if we talk about a doctor that everybody knows and everybody wants to know his opinion, would be Dr. Fauci or Fauci. He would be the guy, somebody like that, somebody who, knows what he's talking about, and can tell us what's right and what's wrong, and are we okay, are we safe, what's going to happen next, that kind of idea. You are the one that people rely on to tell them what's the best course for everybody to take, because you have analyzed everything and you've taken into account all the details and all the aspects, and you came to this conclusion. So a very powerful voice in that matter. Another environment that I can think of that was like stressful, that had to do with idea of no room for mistakes, would be like air traffic controllers. Environment where you cannot make mistakes, you have to pay attention to detail, you have to see everything, things like that, guys. High pressure environment where a lot was expected of you, so you're very comfortable in those. But I guarantee you, in this lifetime, you probably also feel like you need to be of service in that kind of capacity, like some kind of executive assistant, somebody who takes care of somebody else's stuff. You're very good with details, and you're very hardworking, and but you probably don't have you're probably stressed out a lot. Virgo in the 10th, because there's so much pressure to perform, there's so much pressure to be perfect, you probably have a lot of stress, you probably have a lot of anxiety, you probably it's tough to be around you because you're always tense. You're always walking, always expecting like the worst, and so you're very critical of a minor thing happens and you react so strongly, like it's the biggest mistake ever. So you're very sensitive to that. You get triggered very quickly to anything that's not in line with the idea that you have. You're very critical of it. So with North Node and Pisces in the 4th, you're here to take your attention away from the limelight and the spotlight and the big world and performance and achievement and performance reviews and all of that. You're here to get away from being measured and analyzed, and from measuring and analyzing. And you're here to kind of find your comfort zone. 4th house is your comfort, your roots, your family. It's your safe place. And with Pisces there, you literally are longing deep inside of you to get away from all that perfectionism, and to kind of find this world of yours that's quiet and calm, and it doesn't have stress, and it's all inviting, and it's cozy, and you probably would love to live by water. Water would be great for you. Have a house by water, or maybe wherever you live, have a pond or something, go walk around it. You got to find that peace within you. You've been too much out there, and you've placed too much emphasis on achievement, and you're tired. The workaholic inside of you is tired, and if you keep going at that rate, you're probably going to burn out. So with Pisces in the 4th, you're asked to chill, to kind of get away from that, to find your space, your home, to escape. You're allowed to escape. Pisces North Nodes, you guys have the permission to escape from this crazy world, because you have used your logical mind too much, and you rely on it too much, and you're missing out on other things in life. You're missing out on a whole different world that you could be playing in. So with Pisces North Node, you're allowed to escape to a place that's safe, a place that's quiet. Solitude is good for you guys. Pisces does not mind to be alone. Pisces does not mind to be in a world of its own, and nobody's invited, and that's okay. You're allowed to be alone, and you should take time to be alone. You should almost seclude yourself from the craziness of the world, from the craziness of the expectations of others. You need to get away from that, because you will burn out. So the more you focus on your home environment, you could also, if you've never had a family before, you could have that family and create that really nice, flowing, nurturing, intuitive environment, that safe place at home. You're really good at that. And of course, since the 4th house is also family, you could, spend time with your family, spend time at home with your family, just you guys, nobody else, no distractions, and just get to know that, get to know your home, get to know, go to the beach. Beach is great for you guys, living by the beach. What else I would say? Just chill, relax, escape, take a break, take a nap, meditate, whatever, close your eyes and let your mind wander and see what happens. Like I said, you have a world inside of you that you want to experience, and if you do, you'll find that peace. You're not going to be stressed out anymore. You're not going to be a maniac. You're not going to be this perfectionist boss that's driving everybody crazy. You're just going to be more peace and calm and chill, and you will I think you're looking for peace in this lifetime. I think you are, for peace and for rest and for solitude. So if you take that route, you will not go wrong. All right? Okay, guys. I hope that helps. You know what? I'm doing this Pisces North Node, and I am feeling very Pisces. I'm very sleepy, guys. Like, I slept good last night, but I feel like I'm kind of like in this like flowing, and I'm kind of like I'm on drugs. That's what I feel. I love it. You know, it's great. Like, I'm feeling this Pisces energy. So you get to feel that too. You know, explore that. It's almost like you want to get to that feeling as if you're on drugs, but without taking the drugs. That's Pisces. You know, you're kind of just like floating. You don't care. Nothing bothers you. You're just like, okay, tomorrow. You are allowed to do that. Take a break. Give your mind a break.